Thank you all for showing up this morning. My name is Mark Mickle. I'm on the board of directors of Charities Housing, and I'll be acting today as the MC for today's celebration. Today we're celebrating the groundbreaking of the Veranda. The Veranda is a senior affordable housing development comprised of 19 units, much needed units, to serve the senior population, 62 years and older. Each studio is approximately 350 square feet and features energy efficient kitchen, appliances, ADA accessible bathrooms with water efficient fixtures, heating and air conditioning, and a private patio or deck. The community amenities include an outdoor terrace, community events room with a kitchen, laundry room, and a spacious lobby. As we see here in this location, it has access to public transportation, grocery store, health clinics, and parks are all located near this development. Charities Housing owns and manages approximately 1,200 affordable housing units in Santa Clara County. The mission of Charities Housing is to develop, manage, and preserve high-quality, affordable housing for low-income individuals and their families. Charities Housing contributes to the highest standards of human dignity and participation in our community. I would like to acknowledge a few of the staff from Charities Housing. The Executive Director, Dan Wu. Where's Dan at? There he is in the back. Dan. And the Director of Development, Kathy Robinson. I saw Kathy. The one that does all the work. There she is. Also would like to thank the sponsors for today's events. Lenders and partners who make this project possible: the California Tax Credit Allocation Committee, City of Cupertino, County of Santa Clara Measure A, Housing Authority of Santa Clara County, Housing Trust of Silicon Valley, and Wells Fargo Bank. We will hear from various partners here today. But to start off, I would like to first introduce County of Santa Clara Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Joe Simitian. Joe is from the 5th District of Santa Clara County, representing Palo Alto, Mountain View, Cupertino, Stanford, Los Altos Hills, and Saratoga, along with portions of Sunnyvale and San Jose. He was elected to the Board of Supervisors in 2012, and in June of 2016 was re-elected at 89.4% of the vote. Very impressive. Joe's public service over the years includes stints as a member of the California State Senate, the California State Assembly, Mayor of Palo Alto, President of Palo Alto School Board, and an earlier term on the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. Joe brings to his work a wide-ranging perspective and background, service at all levels of state and local government, hands-on in the private sector, as well as professional education and training to his work in public service. Please join me in welcoming County Supervisor Joe Simitian.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I looked in the mirror this morning, I straightened my tie, and I thought, this does not look like a guy who's going to pick up a shovel and do any real work today. But so much of the real work has already been done by the various partners that Mark just described. And what I want to share with you today is my appreciation for the fact that this community is and always has been a place where people find a way to come together to do good work. Now, at the risk of being a little tactless, I'm going to say we know that there's a debate raging in the community right now about what the future looks like. And perhaps equally challenging, a debate about how do we make our way to that future. But what I want to say is I don't think there's any debate about what kind of place we want to be, what kind of people we are, what our values are. My family bought its first home in California, not too far from here on Blaney Avenue in the late 1950s, just around the corner from the Burger Pit, for those of you who are either old enough or have long memories. And California then, and Cupertino then, was a place that was welcoming, it was a place that was inclusive, and it was a place where anyone could find opportunity. If they had some grit, if they had some hustle, and if they had a little bit of talent, this was a welcoming community. Didn't matter who you were, where you came from, or what you looked like. And all these years later, as we continue to have this debate, and I think it's a healthy and important debate, we're still the same place with the same values in my observation. Now, this particular location, of course, is for folks who have paid their dues, who have done the good and hard work over preceding decades, and who are wondering where they're going to be in their later years. And again, we ask and answer the question, is this a community where we embrace you, where we hold you close, where we think of you as part of the extended community family, or where we say, sorry, your time is up, find another locale? You know the answer to that question. Today's groundbreaking is the answer to that question. And the values that drew my family here all those years ago are still the values that I see every day as I live and work and walk among the people I represent, who had the commitment and the smarts and the hustle to figure out how to pull together a project of this complexity in this very challenging time. So whatever the push and shove, the months ahead locally, whatever frustrations we may feel about the political scene on the national level, our first obligation is to make progress right here at home, to do the good work, to make a place for the people we say we care about. And it gives me real satisfaction to say not just congratulations, but thank you to all of you who made that possible, who will continue to make it possible. And the last thank you I want to give is to each and every one of you who's here who thinks you didn't have much to do with today, because you did. Because back in the fall of 2016, we asked Santa Clara County voters, do you want to make a place for people who otherwise won't be a part of this community? Are you willing to tax yourselves to do that with Measure A? And by more than a 2-to-1 margin, they stepped up and said, yeah, we do. We're willing to dig into our own pockets to make a place for others. And to me, that was an affirmation that the values that I described all those years ago are still present here today. Thank you so much for including me. It's good to be with you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Next, I'd like to introduce from the City of Cupertino Council Member Savita Vidaunantham. Sorry about that. I have a little bio, but you know,
Okay.
I'll let you just get in there.
Oh, go ahead.
Savita was elected to Cupertino City Council in 2014, served as mayor in 2017, has also served on the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority Board of Directors, De Anza College Commission, and Advisory Board to West Valley Community Services. Previously, she was a president of the Rotary Club of Cupertino. Savita is passionate about youth entrepreneurship, environmental issues, integrating seniors to build a cohesive community. She's a firm believer in local action for global impact and is focused on finding solutions to address affordable housing and transportation issues, as well as improving the community's quality of life. She emphasizes that these issues must be addressed at the local level, but planned more regionally because of traffic, pollution, and housing issues. No boundaries. Savita, thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much. I'm Savita Vaidyanathan, Council Member City of Cupertino, and it gives me great pleasure to stand here before you. It's always a tough act to follow Yosemitean, but I'll try my best. To have affordable housing in this particular location is just perfect. We have, across the street is Main Street. We have retail, we have restaurants, and we have a VTA bus stop right here. So what could be a better spot than this? I ran for city council in part to serve the senior community. And the city of Cupertino offers many programs to keep us seniors engaged and active. In fact, I worked really hard with staff last year so that we could get the age-friendly designation from WHO. And now the city of Cupertino is one of the cities in the Santa Clara County that has that designation. And with help from various organizations, including Yosemite and the County of Santa Clara and VTA, we now have a pilot transportation program to ensure seniors are mobile and getting where they need to be. And I just met some members from the senior forum community for whom we just authorized 23 more housing units, and they didn't know about the RIDE program. So please do use the RIDE program. It's RYDE, Reach Your Destination Easily. That's the acronym that the county came up with, smart acronym. Anyway, standing here on this location, I am so proud that we can serve our seniors in a way where they can be close to their children and grandchildren. We give them the four walls and a roof and a place where they can live in dignity. And when we were working on this proposal last year, in fact, more than 2 years ago is when I started working on this with Kathy Robinson. So thank you, Kathy, for coming with the proposal to us. And we still needed to buy the land. It was a very long process, and it's a labor of love coming to today. The city of Cupertino contributed $3.672 million in funds and another $1 million through the Housing Trust of Silicon Valley, which is 43% towards the development cause. So if you are staff, city council member, person who lives in Cupertino, thank you to all of you. And last but not the least, I obviously have to thank our partners in this. Thanks goes to the Santa Clara County, Charity Housings, and everybody else who made this day happen. Our planning commissioners are here, our staff is here. Please do talk to them. Thank you so much, and have a great day. At this point, I would like to invite Vice Mayor Rod Sings and Council Member Stephen Sharf to join me here and give the proclamation. And who from Charities will be receiving the proclamation? Vice Mayor Rod Sings.
Thank you. This is a great day for Cupertino. Let's hear it for this project and building affordable housing in Cupertino. Thank you. We're so grateful that this all came together. You know that this council worked very hard to raise housing impact fees on development several years ago. As we develop more, we know we need to make room for everybody. So we intend to be leaders in building housing, and that includes housing for everybody. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Stephen Schaaf.
Good morning. This was one of the first and best things I voted on as a council member, and I was thrilled that it passed 5-0 among the council. No, who could oppose a project like this? It's perfect. I'm so glad it's all housing. I understand originally there was supposed to be less housing and some retail underneath, but personally I feel we don't need any more boba shops in Cupertino. We need more housing. So Mayor Paul is out of the country, and he asked me to present this proclamation today. Who's coming to receive it? So I'll read it here. Proclamation presented to Charities Housing, April 19th, 2018, to proclaim our highest appreciation and respect for your organization's diligent and compassionate efforts in delivering to the city of Cupertino affordable housing, and in particular for your efforts in ensuring that affordable housing needs for our extremely low income senior population are addressed. And it's signed Darcy Paul, Mayor.
Great. See it. Yep. Thank you, City of Cupertino. Next, I'd like to introduce a representative from Assembly Member Evan Lowe's office, Adita Shakarwar. Evan, Here, I'll give Evan Lowe was elected to California State Assembly in November 2014 to represent the 28th District. At the age of 31, Assemblymember Lowe was the youngest Asian American legislator to have been elected to the Assembly in state history. Assemblymember Lowe chairs the Business and Professionals Committee as well as California Legislative LGBT Caucus. In 2015, together with Assemblymember Ian Calderon, he launched California Legislative Technology and Innovation Caucus. The caucus comprises a bipartisan group of senators and assembly members who view this as a statewide effort to ensure California remains a global leader in technology and innovation. Edita?
Good morning, everyone. I am here today on behalf of my boss, Assemblymember Evan Lowe. As you may know, Evan Lowe represents the city of Cupertino and is a strong advocate for more housing and more affordable housing. He was a proud supporter of the housing package last year that Jerry Brown signed that consisted of 15 housing bills and will continue to fight for that cause. So we are very proud to be here today in support of the Veranda, which is not only senior housing that is affordable and environmentally sound, but also integrates the people who live here into the community. So we just want to commend Charities Housing and everyone else who is involved for putting together this wonderful project, and we look forward to the day that it opens. And I have a commendation here from Assemblymember Lowe, and it says, on the occasion of the groundbreaking of the Veranda, we commend Charities Housing for their commitment to providing affordable housing options for the senior population. Thank you for your work providing high-quality, affordable housing for low-income individuals and families. May the Veranda be the first in many more affordable housing developments. Best wishes for your continued success as we act to end homelessness in Santa Clara County. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce a representative from Assemblymember Ash Collar's office. Assemblymember Collar is the first Indian American Assembly member in the California legislature and was appointed chair of Aging and Long-Term Care Committee. Also sits on the Education, Judiciary, Labor and Employment and Water, Parks and Life Wild committees. Teresa also works as a housing and immigration liaison for the 28th Assembly District. Teresa?
Hi. So unfortunately, Assemblymember Clara couldn't make it today because he's up in Sacramento, but he did want me to convey his deepest gratitude to Charities Housing for taking this really bold leadership in housing some of the most vulnerable communities in Silicon Valley. As the chair of the Aging and Long-Term Care Committee, Assemblymember Clara recognizes the importance of providing our seniors with high-quality, affordable housing. The Assemblymember thanks Charities Housing for their leadership in housing some of the most vulnerable members of our community. The tireless work of Charities Housing is critical to combating the growing epidemic of homeless seniors in our area. The developments of Charities Housing are strongly needed to foster a healthy and vibrant Silicon Valley. On behalf of the 27th Assembly District, thank you for recognizing that all Santa Clara residents deserve a dignified housing, dignified housing for us to live in. Seniors have sacrificed so much and done so much for our community that the least we can do is provide them with quality housing. So thank you, Charities Housing, for recognizing that. It's such an honor to be here on behalf of the Assembly member, and I thank you for all that you do. I also brought a certificate of recognition because that's just what we do as State Assembly member staff, and it's such an honor to be here, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa. Next, I would like to introduce from Wells Fargo Bank, Lori Saito, Vice President. Lori is a Vice President, Senior Relationship Manager with Wells Fargo Community Lending and Investment Team, and has been celebrating will be celebrating 35 years with Wells Fargo Bank this June. Nearly 25 of those years has been working in affordable housing through Northern California, and the last 15 years plus have been working with the team at Charities Housing, a very important provider, team member to Charities. Lori was born and raised in the South Bank, continues to call this wonderful place home. Lori?
Thank you so much. On behalf of Wells Fargo, I'm just really honored to be here. Born and raised, not very far away. My parents, as I see them aging, seniors are becoming a big issue in our valley. Growing up, I raised my kids here. My kids are now off at college. They're not living here because, quite frankly, it's too expensive for them to be here and living here and trying to get an apartment. So for me, this is kind of like bringing it all home for me. Growing up here, being a part of this community, I would love to have my kids here. My parents had to move out about 5-10 years ago, somewhere in there. They moved out because it got so expensive for them to live here. And now they're in their 80s. They're probably going to hate me for that, but it's okay. We're working on it. It's important for all of us to see and realize what it really means to have a community. And our community is, based on a number of different things. We've got growth across the street. We see everything that's being built there. We see a lot of apartments that are coming online, but we really as a community have to talk about kind of the range of what we need to be servicing within our community. It's our youth, it's our middle income, it's our seniors that have been here and served here for such a long time. I'm so honored to be part of this. I know for our group, I actually work specifically on the construction financing. We have Daniel Pearl here who specifically works on the investment side. So we kind of run all kinds of different things, construction lending, and we are actually the purchasing the tax credits and the tax credit investment. We'll be a partner in this project with Charities Housing for the next 15 years while they go through this. So we're just really honored to be here, and I think Dan and I have worked together for at least 15, 20 years. And I remember back when you were at Charities Housing, or Catholic Charities, before you broke over to Charities Housing. And yeah, it's really kind of tough for me to say that I've been with Wells Fargo for 35 years, because I now say I started with the bank when I was 5. It gets younger and younger each year that I keep going here. But again, been really honored to be part of this, and I'm looking forward to the grand opening, and congratulations everybody who put an awful lot of effort into this. This is a huge effort. It takes a tremendous amount of group of people just to get it to this point. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lori. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce from the Housing Trust of Silicon Valley, Jim Mather. Jim has served. You want to cut it? All right.
I'm the last, so I plan on being the shortest, but I've been in affordable housing, working in affordable housing for 30 years, and I'm sorry to say I haven't fixed the problem yet, but other than that, every time I've been to a lot of these groundbreakings, a lot of grand openings, and they always make me feel gratitude for the folks who really work hard to put this together. And that includes, of course, Charities Housing, our partners at the county and the city. And in particular today, I want to thank the voters of Santa Clara County who, with their wisdom and compassion, approved Measure A. And I believe, Consuelo can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first Measure A project to break ground. And so we're all proud to be here for that reason and proud to be part of it, and thank you very much.
I'd like to turn the closing remarks to Kathy Robinson. Kathy's the Director of Development, and if anybody knows Kathy, she is a tireless person who makes all these special projects come together. So Kathy, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate you all being here, and I'll be brief because it's sunny and you're probably starting to perspire. Those of you who know Charities Housing know that we don't typically do groundbreakings. We'd like to save special events for when the building is here. We can have a dedication with our residents who live here, and it really is a great celebration, and everybody gets an opportunity to see how wonderful the environment is. But because of the outstanding support we had in moving this development forward, we thought it was appropriate to do this step now. The collaboration of all of the funders, the city of Cupertino, the community was overwhelming. This development has moved more quickly through the entitlement process to get to the point of this groundbreaking, I think, than any other development that Charities Housing has done. And that's a credit to the staff, the council, the planning commission, and all of the community that came out to support this development. And I would like to just acknowledge some of the community members, since the funders have all been identified. The Rotary Club of Cupertino. The Charities Housing and the Rotary Club actually tried to do an affordable housing development a few years ago. We wanted to build a few units over behind the Oaks, tucked up against the sound wall for 85. And we were not successful. There's a great dog park there, and I live in Cupertino and take my dog, but it's really gratifying now to be able to provide a space for people on 2 legs instead of 4 in our community. St. Joseph's, St. Jude's, the League of Women Voters, Housing Choices Coalition, West Valley Community Services, all of these folks came to the council meeting and came to the planning commission and spoke to the great need for affordable housing, particularly for seniors in our community. And I can't express how much I appreciate people taking their time to go out and do that and deliver that message, so that our elected officials would feel comfortable and supportive in making the unanimous decision to let this development go forward. We had a really wonderful surprise yesterday. We received an email from the forum. The executive director and the board president are here today from the forum. They have generously donated $25,000 to this development. So I would really like to thank them and their support for this development and supporting other seniors who will really have an opportunity to live here and take advantage of this great city. Finally, I'd just like to thank the charity staff who helped pull this event together. Jennifer Lopes is the project manager for this development and has worked tirelessly to get us here. Sandra Veranda is also a project manager in our development department, but more importantly, she's a party planner extraordinaire. So if you like the coffee guy, talk to Sandra. And all the rest of the charity staff. We're a small, close-knit nonprofit. Everybody works together to make a success of our organization, whether it's from development, property management, accounting, the folks that work in all of our properties supporting our residents. And we don't get enough opportunities just to thank the staff at Charities Housing. So thank you very much.
So with that, that would be the end of all the lovely speeches. And now I believe, Dan, is it time to throw a little dirt around? Okay. Let's do a small toss here.
Cupertino!